I don't know if my mic is fully charged. I don't know if my phone is fully charged. This is filmed on a whim, okay? This is, oh gosh, okay. This video is not gonna be pretty. Like it's not gonna be pretty, but it is something that needs to be talked about. So we'll be doing that today because why the f- not? Before I get into it, I am giving you a very, very, very hefty trigger warning. I'm putting them on screen. I need you to not take these lightly. I need you to take these as serious as you can. And if even one of them in the slightest triggers you, I need you to go click away. I'm currently writing for the second episode of the Monsters from Mythology You Should Know, but I had to make this video. Um, well, had to is a big word, but it's something I feel like I need to talk about. So if anything triggers you from this list, please, please, please click off. I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you over on Instagram or on TikTok. I'll see you again, but I need you to be safe. As I said before, I want my platform to be a place where everyone feels safe, but I also want my platform to be a place where I can vent out my frustrations and I can spread awareness on things that I am passionate about. And this topic is something that I've wanted to speak on for a while, but now that the show Adolescence is gaining a lot of mainstream attention, now that there's a recent case in Belgium going on, and now that the thing I'm going to be talking about today gained my attention, it made it pretty much impossible for me to stay silent on any of this. I have been, and I always will be open about the fact that I am a feminist, but it seems like in recent years, it's become just as important as it was centuries ago. Femicide is on the rise again. Red pill podcasts and alpha male podcasts are bigger than ever, and the gender gap is growing once again. In the UK alone, a woman gets every 3 days. 90% of those victims lose their lives to the hands of people they know. In Australia, 11 women have been between January and March of 2025 alone. And like I said, in Belgium, there's a case going on right now where a woman the man was found guilty and he is not charged. He doesn't have a fine, he doesn't have a jail sentence, his name is not public. There's nothing that the court did because he has a bright future ahead of him and he's a smart young man and he is allowed to continue his studies as a gynecologist. A gynecologist, because why would women feel safe? Why should we? And like I said, shows like Adolescence are very, very, very much necessary, yet so many people are missing the point. It isn't a show that's just about, oh, a woman because she says no is bad. I fear that is just common knowledge, but it's a show that lets us see in the mind of the perpetrator of these kind of crimes. It shows us how he truly doesn't think that he did anything wrong, how in his mind everything is justified, and that is so important yet oh so scary. It shows us how incel culture and the likes of Andrew Tate have such an incredibly bad effect on young boys' mind, and how the lack of intervention from governments and schools and families and adults can have dire consequences. The media these young men consume shapes them into who they'll become and what morals they'll have. And that is why today's topic is also incredibly important. As I was scrolling through TikTok, I came across this video.
There's currently a petition on the Collective Shout website to get a game removed from the popular streaming service Steam. There is a whole category of games that you probably wouldn't want your child to be playing.
When I tell you, my heart sank to my. I was hoping that the game was so indie and so small and on a topic that didn't interest a lot of people, that there wouldn't be a lot of people who saw it and played it. But I was very much wrong about that. So far, there are 170 reviews and counting, mainly by men who have all dedicated a few hours of their life to this game. And the negative reviews on this game focuses on how the game has bad translations or visuals instead of the disgusting themes this game includes. The positive reviews are obviously even more disturbing because why would anyone be normal? Excellent game, a return to catering for the more masculine audience. This game was a breath of fresh air, and it did really well at leveraging power dynamics and fulfilling fantasies I'm sure many people have had. Everything is so soft and normy these days. It was so refreshing to see something like this. I've been looking for something like this for a long time. I like the game. I recommend it. Great game. The different routes were awesome, and the game as a whole is so hot. Absolutely love this game. It's a fantastic experience from start to finish. The story is fun, engaging, and full of unexpected twists to keep you hooked. Every encounter feels unique and well thought out. Some are downright twisted in the best way possible. These characters and scenes are creative, sometimes hilarious, and always entertaining. Whether you're into narrative depth or just looking for a good time, this game delivers. What exactly is this game about? Well, let's let's read the official Steam page's description, shall we? Warning. This is not your average love story. After catching your own mother betraying your father, you uncover the true nature of women, especially her. But she's no ordinary housewife. She's hiding a dark secret that's haunted her for years. Now it's your turn to uncover it. Blackmail her, expose her, and rebuild your family on your terms. Own her. In this game, you'll either become every woman's worst nightmare, or rather, the best they'll ever have. Your goal is simple. Leave no un since that's the only thing they all want. Never take no for an answer. Your mom, your auntie, and even your mom's friend. Why not? And I don't know where to start. I'm gonna be honest. As you know, I try to give unbiased facts. I research before I give my own personal thoughts, feelings, opinions, but with this one, I can't do that. With this one, I am angry and uncomfortable and disgusted. With this one, I believe that everyone who plays this or has this on their Steam wishlist deserves to be on a watch list. In this game, the player discovers their mother cheating, and instead of reacting in any rational or moral way, he chooses to grape her. Over the course of 7 chapters, the game allows the player to grape multiple women, including their own mother, their sister, a friend's mother, and a woman whose only wrongdoing is advocating for animal rights. And despite the game's so called morality system, the player's conscience deliberately pushes them towards grape every time. There's no real option to refuse. This game is not about choice, it's purely about graping women. So much of the description alone is terrifying. What is even worse than the positive comments and descriptions are the reactions to people calling it out. Comments criticizing the game get called soft or kink shamers or told that it's just a game, it won't increase violence. It's like being surprised Battlefield has violence. So, for those kind of people, I would like to point something out. You uncover the true nature of women. That just shows how the dev of this game views women. It's not about the kinks in this game. Devil's Tango, however you want. If both parties agreed and are happy with it, you do you. It's not about the game having violence, even though it kind of is. It's about how subtle things like this infiltrate everyday life and slowly but surely make the world even more unsafe for women. The fact reviews of this game call it a game that's a breath of fresh air since everything is so soft and normy these days, and calling it a game for real men already shows how not only the dev, but the people who play this game and the people the dev caters to are the reason the man or bear argument exists. And before the not all men crowd jumps me, I am intelligent enough to know that it's not all men. Most of us are intelligent enough to realize that it's not every single man that has ever existed, but it's enough men to make women wary of every single one. It's enough men that make 91% of women have a story. It's enough men to make 1 in 3 women have a story. It's enough men that 94 to 99% of these women who have a story are perpetrated by men. My favorite analogy to explain this is if you had a basket of apples in front of you and you're told that a lot of them are poisoned, but you won't notice until it's too late, would you eat those apples? I found only one review calling it out. And this review actually put a lot of my thoughts into words. So I'm going to be reading this because I can't find the words myself. And I think this comment or this review really put what I want to say into words. This game is not just another adult game, it's a simulator, and its presence on Steam is deeply disturbing. This game exists solely to encourage, depict, and glorify violence. Perhaps the most unsettling part is the fact that a game like this has an audience at all. Turning a real life trauma into a is not just disturbing, it is harmful. In a world where are already rampant, allowing a game like this to exist only normalizes and trivializes the suffering of survivors. This game is not just offensive, it is dangerous, irresponsible release that should be removed from Steam immediately. There are also people in the discussion calling this a real man's game or a masculine game, the same language coming from Andrew Tate fans who are actively praising this incel simulator. This is deeply concerning, as it highlights how toxic ideologies are weaponizing media like this to push harmful narratives. Incel culture often thrives on dehumanizing women, and this game proves a platform for those who believe women exist solely for their pleasure, reinforcing the most dangerous aspect of misogyny. This review is not about whining or censorship, as some people will inevitably claim. People can call me whatever they want, but my point stands. This incel simulator should not be on Steam, a massive platform, let alone be anywhere. There's a difference between dark fantasy, BDSM, or even extreme horror games that explore consent and consequences, and a game that explicitly revolves around with no nuisance, no critique, and no justification beyond abuse. If you're into BDSM, or any form of consensual adult content, that is entirely fine. But profiting off of a game that glorifies and abuses your own mother, who in multiple scenes is crying and begging for you to stop, is beyond disgusting. It has no place on Steam. When you have parents and advocacy groups looking for any excuse to ban video games, games like this only fuel their arguments and put the entire gaming industry at risk. Some may argue that books and movies have explored dark themes before, but the key difference is context. Films, literature, and responsible game narratives often critique or explore the consequences of such horrifying acts. This game does not do that. It exists purely to glorify and fetishize rape with no deeper meaning, commentary, or critical lens. This is what makes it indefensible. The fact we live in a world where people are defending and celebrating content like this is absolutely disturbing. No one should feel comfortable playing, endorsing, or defending something so vile. If it were a real person, the person making this game would be beyond reprehensible, and they should face accountability. Like this review also says, this isn't to kink shame anybody. Kinks like CNC exists because a lot of survivors of find strength in it. But the first C in CNC is what is incredibly crucial and is what counts in that context. There is no CNC in this game. It is all NC. It is disgusting, it is disturbing, it is disgraceful that a game like this is still up on a platform like Steam. And even if it is 18 plus, any kid that can click on a download button can also click on a yes, I'm over 18. And even then, this is harmful no matter what age it targets. It is disgusting that in this day and age, we still see something like this up on a platform like Steam, especially when Steam removes other lewd or not safe for work games for way less harmful content. And the fact that there is an entire community not only looking for games, but looking for games or just games in general is insane. Get off to what you want to get off to, but the suffering and the harm of women is not something. If you genuinely enjoy getting off to that, then yes, I will king shame you. Because you're getting off to the lives of women being ruined. You're getting off by viewing women as just an object you can do whatever the fuck you want with. I'm gonna end this video here. I feel sick. And I know that I didn't add much to the conversation, but it's a conversation that should be had and should be spread, especially now. At least for me, there are currently active protests going on because some judge, a female judge, thought it was okay to let it go free without it even being put on record. Like he's just free. It's not on his record. He's not seen as a criminal, except by literally the rest of the country. Every day the world becomes more and more unsafe for women. And it's like all the efforts that the women before us had to go through to get where we are being lost. I will leave resources and helplines in the description of as many countries as I can. I am asking you to reach out to someone if you need help, reach out to someone if you need to talk. There should be no shame and no judgment in needing to talk to someone. You are loved, you are treasured, you are loved, you are treasured, and you are welcome here. Please be safe. And I will see you next weekend with episode 2 of the Monsters of Mythology series. But until then, take care of yourself, and I'll see you next week.